Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am Anna, and I am very happy to start this useful new lesson with you all. Today's essential topic is very simple: asking for and giving directions in English. We will learn many simple words to find places and help others find places in the city.
Hello, Anna. I am Ben, and I am very happy to talk about this important topic with you now. Please listen very carefully to our conversation and try to learn all of the new simple direction words. Remember to repeat the easy phrases after us to quickly improve your English speaking skills. Asking for directions is necessary when you are in a new place.
Ben, let's start with the most important simple question we must ask a stranger first. You need to be polite. What simple phrase do you use to start the conversation and ask, "Where's the nearest bank?" Do you need to say, "Excuse me" first?
That is a great starting point, Anna. You must always start by saying, "Excuse me, sir, madam," to be polite. Then you ask clearly, "Excuse me, where is the nearest bank, please?" Using the word nearest means the closest one to you now. Always be polite when you ask a stranger for simple help.
Imagine you are looking for a very specific place, like the Central Library. What simple question should you ask a person if you want to know how to get to the main library? What simple word do you use to talk about walking from one place to another place?
I should ask the simple question, "How can I get to the main library from this place, please? I need to know the path from my current location to the library easily." The simple word I use to talk about walking from one place to another place is the verb walk or go.
Sometimes you are walking in the city and you see a large map. What simple question should you ask a person if you cannot find your current location on the map? What simple word describes the location of a place?
I should ask, "Excuse me, can you please show me where I am on this large map now? I need to know my starting point immediately to find the way easily." The simple word that describes the location of a place is place or location. Knowing your simple location is the first step.
Ben, what simple phrase should you use to thank the person before they give you the directions? Do you need to ask if the place you want to go is very far away or very close to you now? What simple word means very far away from you?
I should use a simple, friendly phrase, "Thank you for your simple help now." Then I must ask, "Is the main library very far away from this location?" The simple word that means very far away from you is far. If the place is far, I need to take the bus.
You need to ask a person to repeat the simple directions slowly because you did not understand everything the first time. What simple and polite question should you ask the person to repeat the information very slowly? Why is it important to ask for the information a second time?
I should ask simply and politely, I am sorry. Can you please repeat that very slowly for me? I must show that I am listening but need more simple time to understand the information clearly. It is important to ask for the information a second time to make sure you do not get lost in the city. Always ask when you are not sure.
You are very close to the place you are looking for now, but you cannot see the entrance door. What simple question should you ask a person to confirm if the specific building is the correct one for the bank? What simple word do you use to talk about the main door you must enter?
I should ask, excuse me, is that simple, tall red building the correct one for the bank? I need confirmation that I have reached the final destination immediately. The simple word I use to talk about the main door I must enter is the entrance or the door. Confirmation helps me avoid mistakes.
Now let's practice giving simple directions, Ben. Imagine someone asks you for the nearest large park. What is the first simple instruction you give if they need to walk straight ahead for a short distance? What simple word means the opposite of stop?
If they need to walk straight, I should say, go straight ahead on this street for about 2 minutes. I must tell them the simple time or distance clearly. The simple word that means the opposite of stop is go or continue. Going straight is the easiest direction. Anna, imagine the park is at the first corner of the street. What simple instruction should you give if they need to turn right at the first street corner they reach? What simple phrase means to change the direction you are walking?
I should say, when you reach the first corner, please turn right immediately. I must make sure they turn at the very first street. The simple phrase that means to change the direction you are walking is turn left or turn right. Turning right is always to the side of the open hand. Ben, imagine the park is on the opposite side of the street, so they need to cross the road. What simple instruction should you give if they need to cross the street safely to get to the park? What simple place helps people cross the street very safely?
I should say, cross the street now, but please look both ways for fast cars. I must tell them to be very careful when they cross the street. The simple place that helps people cross the street safely is the crosswalk or the zebra crossing. Always use the crosswalk to stay safe. Anna, the park is very close, right next to the big supermarket building. What simple phrase should you use to tell them the park is next to the supermarket? What simple word means directly beside or near something else?
I should say the park is right next to the large supermarket building. I must use a famous building as a simple landmark for them to see easily. The simple word that means directly beside or near something else is next to or beside. Landmarks make directions very clear. Ben, imagine the park is on the other side of the street, exactly across from the large hotel building. What simple phrase should you use to give the specific direction? What simple word means to be directly opposite something?
I should say, the park is directly across from the large hotel building. I must use the hotel as the main landmark for them to find the location easily. The simple word that means to be directly opposite something is across from. This word is very useful for opposite places. Anna, the park is not on the first corner, but it is at the second street light they must pass. What simple phrase should you use to give this clear instruction? What simple word do you use for the light that controls the simple traffic?
I should say walk straight ahead until you reach the second traffic light and then turn left. I must use the second light as a clear marker for their journey. The simple word for the light that controls the simple traffic is the traffic light. Traffic lights are very good markers for giving directions. Ben, what simple phrase should you use to give them a clear, final instruction? Like, the entrance is behind the blue wall. What simple word means to be at the back of something else? Why is the final instruction very important?
I should say, you will see the park and the main entrance is behind the blue wall. The simple word that means to be at the back of something else is behind. The final instruction is very important because it tells the person exactly where the door is located.
Landmarks are very important, Ben. What simple phrase do you use to tell someone that the cinema is between the post office and the cafe? What simple word means to be in the middle of two other things?
I should say, the simple cinema is located between the post office and the small cafe. I must name the two simple buildings on both sides of the cinema clearly. The simple word that means to be in the middle of two other things is between. This is a very useful word for precise locations. Anna, imagine the church building is on the right-hand side of the long street. What simple phrase should you use to give this clear direction? What simple word means the opposite side of left-hand side?
I should say, walk down this long street and the beautiful church will be on your right-hand side. I must tell them the specific side of the street to look for the building. The simple word that means the opposite side of left-hand side is the right-hand side. Clear sides help people find the place easily. Anna, Ben, imagine the place they're looking for is inside a large mall on the second floor. What simple instruction should you give if they need to go up to the second floor? What simple word do you use for the ground floor and the floors above it?
I should say, go inside the large mall and take the elevator up to the second floor. I must tell them to go up one level from the ground floor easily. The simple word I use for the ground floor and the floors above it is the floor. Knowing the correct floor is very important for finding shops. Anna, what simple phrase should you use to tell someone that the bus stop is in front of the main government building? What simple word means to be directly positioned at the forward part of something? Why is the bus stop a good simple landmark?
I should say, the simple bus stop is directly in front of the main government building. The simple word that means to be directly positioned at the forward part of something is in front of. The bus stop is a good simple landmark because it is usually very easy to see and very large.
Sometimes directions are difficult, Ben. What do you say if you simply do not know the directions to the place they want? Is it polite to say, I do not know clearly? Or should you try to guess the direction? Why is honesty important here?
I should say, simply and politely, I am very sorry, but I do not know the directions to that place. I must be honest and not try to guess the direction because that might make the person lost in the city. Honesty is very important here to save their simple time and avoid causing simple problems. Anna, imagine the person you are talking to looks very confused after you gave them the directions. What simple question should you ask them to check if they understood everything you said clearly? Do you ask them to repeat the instructions back to you?
I should ask the simple question, are you sure you understood the directions clearly now? I can also ask, do you have any simple questions for me before you start walking? I should not ask them to repeat everything back to me. I should just check for simple understanding and confusion. Then, imagine you just realized you gave the person the wrong direction and they're walking the wrong way. What simple phrase should you shout to them immediately to stop them from walking the wrong way? What simple word means to stop moving immediately?
I should shout clearly, "Wait! Stop right there, please! I made a simple mistake." I must immediately apologize for the simple mistake I made quickly and clearly. The simple word that means to stop moving immediately is stop. Stopping them immediately is important before they go too far. Ben, Anna, what simple advice should you give to a person who tells you they are completely lost in the city now? Should they call the police? Or should they find a simple, large building, like a hotel, to ask for better, clearer help? What simple tool should they use on their phone to see their current location?
I should advise them to find a simple large building, like a hotel or a train station, to ask for better, clearer help. They should not call the police immediately. They should try other simple methods first. They should use the simple map application on their phone to see their current location. Ben, you are giving directions and you see a simple sign that says "No entry" or "Road closed." What simple warning should you give the person about this specific street? What simple word means they cannot walk on that street now?
I should give a simple warning, be careful. That next street is closed, so you cannot go that way now. I must tell them the simple reason why they cannot walk on that street immediately. The simple word that means they cannot walk on that street now is closed. Telling them about closed roads is very helpful. Anna, what simple phrase should you use to tell the person approximately how long the walk will take to reach the destination? Do you give the time in minutes or in hours for a simple short walk? Why is giving the time a good piece of information?
I should use a simple phrase like, "The walk will take approximately 10 to 15 minutes from this place." I must always give the time in minutes for a simple, short walk to the destination. Giving the time is a good piece of information because it helps them feel confident and plan their simple journey. Then, what is the simple phrase you use to finish the conversation and say, "I hope you find the bank easily now"? Why is it polite to wish them good luck in finding this specific place? What simple word means to wish them success?
The simple phrase I use to finish the conversation is, "You are welcome. I hope you find the bank easily now. Good luck." It is very polite to wish them good luck in finding the place because it shows kindness. The simple word that means to wish them success is good luck.
We have talked about asking for and giving directions now, Ben. What is the best simple advice you have for asking for directions in English? Should people write down the simple directions? Or should they try to remember everything in their head? Why is writing down the directions helpful?
The best simple advice is always to write down the simple directions immediately on a small paper or in their phone notes. They should never try to remember everything in their head because that might lead to simple mistakes. Writing down the simple directions is helpful because they can check the steps easily later. Anna, what simple advice would you give to someone who feels very nervous about asking a stranger for directions? Should they practice the simple questions in front of a mirror? Or should they ask a young person first instead of an older person?
My simple advice is that they should definitely practice the simple questions in front of a mirror many times to feel more confident. They should also look for a friendly-looking person, like someone with a dog or a student, to ask first. They should remember to smile and be polite always. Ben, let's talk about future practice. What is your simple goal for practicing giving directions in English next month? Do you want to learn more landmark names? Or do you want to practice using the words left and right faster and more clearly? What simple thing will you do to practice giving clear directions?
My simple goal is to learn more simple landmark names in my own city in English next month. I also want to practice using the words left and right faster and more clearly. I will stand in one place and practice giving directions to simple places I know well, like my house and the post office. Anna, what is the best simple way to ask a person to draw a simple map on a piece of paper if they have time? What simple request shows that a map would be much easier for you to understand the path clearly?
The best simple way is to ask politely, "I am sorry, would it be possible for you to draw a simple map for me?" This simple request shows that a simple map would be much easier for me to understand the path clearly. A simple drawn map is very useful for complicated paths. Ben, what is the final important message about directions you want to share with our listeners? Should they use very complicated long sentences? Or should they use short, clear sentences only? Why is being clear and concise so important when giving directions?
The final important message is that they should use short, clear sentences only when asking for or giving directions. They should never use very complicated long sentences that might confuse the other person. Being clear and concise is very important to make the information easy to understand and quick to follow. Anna, thank you very much for sharing your wonderful advice about asking and giving directions with all of us today. Your simple phrases for using landmarks and dealing with mistakes were truly very useful for all of our loyal listeners. We truly hope that this helpful episode assists them in their own travel plans.
Thank you very much too, Ben, for sharing your simple and practical tips about basic directions and safety in the city. It was very interesting to hear all the simple words like across from and next to that we need. We hope our listeners now feel much more ready to ask and give directions in simple English. Now, we need to ask all of our loyal listeners to immediately practice the easy sentences we used today. Find a simple map of your town and practice giving directions from your house to a shop out loud. Practice saying, "Go straight" and "turn left at the corner" many times every day.
We want to encourage all of our listeners to write one simple landmark near their house, like a big yellow church or a tall blue building, in the comments below this video right now. Your simple comments help our learning community grow stronger and bigger every single day.
We truly hope this lesson was very fun and very useful for your personal language learning journey now. Remember to subscribe for more simple and effective English lessons next week. Thank you all for listening to us today.
Goodbye for now, and remember to keep practicing English every single day with Anna and me.